Hi everybody, welcome to this week's video. I hope that you're having a great November. Last week we talked about thanks, the thanks part of Thanksgiving, gratitude and all of that stuff. This week we're going to talk about the other half of Thanksgiving, which is giving, taking your gratitude and paying it forward. And I love this. I love this so much. Real quick, before I get going, I want to do two things. One, I want to ask you to please subscribe and make sure that you hit the thumbs up button down below the video. That really helps me kind of defeat the YouTube algorithm so more people will see me. So make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. Also, I want to apologize for my voice. I'm not really feeling that great, and my voice is leaving me, so hopefully it's less annoying for you than it is for me. So, okay, let's get started with the first book, The Can Do Thanksgiving by Marion Hess Pomeranc. This is about a little girl named Dee, whose school has a canned food drive, like many do during the Thanksgiving season, and she picks out a special can of peas at the grocery store, and she wants to know what is going to happen to her peas. And the story goes from there. She ends up meeting a friend named Tyler at the food shelter. It has very cheerful illustrations. It's nice to see the way the children connect over something as simple as a can of peas. You really can be kind to anybody that you meet and find commonalities in the smallest things. This would be a really good one to talk to your kids about, and maybe there is a food storage shelter near you. Maybe there are soup kitchens that could use some canned foods donations. You could go to the grocery store with them and they can pick out their own kind of vegetables that they want to donate. This is something really good that you can use with your kids this year, especially during Thanksgiving. Now, we all know that Thanksgiving is not the only time that we can give. So I worked really hard to find books that talked about giving all year round, right? So my next one is called Miss Rumphius by Barbara Cooney. Miss Rumphius, I love this book. I've always loved this book. The illustrations are very beautiful. They're very well done, also done by Barbara Cooney. And this book mostly teaches that no matter what else you do in your life, do something to make the world beautiful. Even if it's something very small, like Miss Rumphius plants flowers and makes the world beautiful in that way. But there are lots of different ways that you can do it. So talk to your children about that. Maybe there's something they can do. Maybe they can plant a garden. Maybe they can go and mow somebody's yard. Maybe they can, paint rocks and put them all over the park. I don't know, but there's a million different things, and let them come up with their own ideas, and you will not regret it, because serving others and making the world beautiful only makes your family more united. Alright, next up we've got The Mitten Tree by Candace Christiansen. This is about an old lady named Sarah who feels very alone in the world. And she has this group of school-aged kids that have their bus stop just down the street from her house, underneath a tall pine tree. And she watches them out the window, and she just loves these little kids, and she notices one winter day that somebody doesn't have some mittens, and so she makes them some mittens. But she doesn't want anybody to know that it's her, and so she just puts them on the tree. And the little child picks up the mittens, and the next day she makes a couple more and puts them on the tree. And she's doing all of this service for all of these children that don't really know her, but she doesn't want any kind of recognition for it. She never tells them that it's her. But then at the end she gets a special surprise, and I think that the kids figured it out. This was a surprise for me how much I loved this book. I was not expecting it. I found it at a half-price book sale for like 50 cents, and I was like, I'm gonna grab it for winter, and I loved it so much. So go and give it a chance. I hope you love it too. Next up, How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. This is a children's version of an adult self-help book called How Full Is Your Bucket? This follows Felix and Anna, siblings, throughout their day. This book basically talks about how you can be kind to others. You can either fill their bucket with nice things, or you can take water out of their bucket by being unkind to them. And I think that being kind to people is one of the greatest services that you can do to them, because you never know what another person is going through. So this, especially if you're having children or have children that are having issues with bullies or with making friends or feeling alone, this is a really good way to help them work through that, because children will gain more self-confidence by taking care and being kind to others. So make sure you follow with this one. Yep. Lastly, we have Lily and the Paper Man by Rebecca Upjohn. This is obviously about a little girl named Lily, and while she and her mom are out for a walk, they encounter a man selling newspapers, and it turns out that this man happens to be homeless. And at first he scares Lily because she doesn't understand why, you know, he's not wearing warm clothes, and he speaks kind of gruffly and all this stuff. But over time, she realizes that she wants to do something to help him and take care of him. And so she does something very special, and her parents help her with this project, and it changes the paper man and his feelings completely, and helps him to know that he's loved. So this is really good, especially during this time of year and this season. So the illustrations for this one are also very beautiful. They're well painted. Yeah, so this brings me to my biggest point for this particular video, which is my family and we do a service project every year for the holiday season. It's to help us to remember that giving is better than receiving, and that's the entire point of the holiday season. So this year we'd like to ask for your help. What we are doing this year is we are decorating sandwich bags, just plain paper sandwich bags, for the Salvation Army. So this is one that I did today. And the Salvation Army here near where we live gives out an average of 700 sack lunches per day. Isn't that kind of sad? That's so many. That's 5,000 in a week almost. That's just crazy to me. So the people that are accepting these meals are obviously often in kind of sad, depressing circumstances. And this is a very small, very simple way that you can brighten somebody's day, and it's a very easy way to involve my 2-year-old as well. So you do not have to have a great, huge artistic talent. I don't. My 2-year-old is not a savant of any kind, but he scribbles, and you know, we print out pictures on the bags, and there's no limits to what you can do with this. The only rules, well, I said there were no limits, but here's 2. 1, no tape, no glue, things fall off of the bags. And the second one is no contact information. Although if you and your child would like to sign your work, by all means, a first name is just fine. So I will have an address where you can mail me your lunch sacks down below. It will be a P.O. box, and I really look forward to seeing what you have coming up. We have some big groups that are going to be sending in some bags, and I can't wait to share them all with you. This is going to be really fun. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Next week we are talking about families, books about families, and I'm just really excited. Hopefully by then my voice will be all the way back. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.